All right, guys, let's connect it up. Coming at you today, March 19th, 2023, for another live stream for the next hour. So we'll talk about the Walking Dead universe, the Last of Us universe, and anything else you want to talk about, some other shows, and a crazy movie that I definitely want to talk about this live stream. So like I said, today is March 19th, 2023. We're going to be talking about, we got to talk about March Madness a little bit, right? My team lost, my two teams that I had in the bracket pool for the championship game lost yesterday. So I'm out. So there's no chance for me. My bracket is busted. But remember, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Support us any way you can. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to do that. So The Last of Us is over. The first season is over. The first 9 episodes of the series. A lot of questions going into season 2, but we'll talk all about those and what people are being said. We'll wait for more people to join today, but thank you everybody for taking the time to be here for the next hour. I'm excited to be here as always to talk about a variety of topics, but also get to talk to you guys about, a bunch of different things too. So, all right. So someone came in and left. That's all good too. But either way, guys, hopefully you and yours are safe and sound. You're staying warm. I know that it's definitely something that it's cold in a lot of places. If you're on spring break this week or you were on spring break, it always kind of sucks after you're on vacation to go back to school or work or real life, what it was, especially if you had a good vacation. Remember, like good times on a cruise or something. You're like, oh man, I got to go there. But so here on this channel, we talk about a variety of things. A lot of people think we talk about Walking Dead and that's it. Well, we talk about that for sure, but we're watching other different shows, and I definitely watched a movie that I definitely want to talk about. So, right now there's not that much television on. I didn't watch Mayor of Kingstown, the season finale. I'll watch that later today because The Last of Us ended last Sunday. There's no Walking Dead show on until May 14th, but there is filming news about that, about the Rick and Michonne show. A lot of good stuff there. We're posting videos pretty much every week, every couple of days, and it's definitely something that I'm excited to see where it's going to go with that show, right? So I'm excited to see the future of the Walking Dead universe. Now, I have realistic expectations. I don't think these spinoffs are going to be amazing. I don't think they're going to be awful. I think they'll be somewhere in between. I think they'll be good. They'll have their moments, especially if they answer questions that we've been wanting to know, right? So let me ask you guys this question right now. So we're 3 minutes in the live stream. Let me ask you guys a question. You can answer this if you watch it on the replay as well. But what has to be done in these spinoff shows? Dead City, Raise the Dead, which I'm calling the Daryl Dixon show Raise the Dead, which I think it's going to be that. There's been a lot of information going around, but Raise the Dead is probably going to be what that series is titled, and the Rick and Michonne show. What has to happen in those shows for it to be considered a success, worth your time, worth watching? And what, I guess, doesn't need to happen on those shows, which are like, it really didn't need to go that route or do those things too, But I guess the bigger question is, what needs to happen for you to feel like, okay, these are good, right? Because we're going to get the characters that we know and like, or you might love some of the characters. You might like some of the characters. You might hate some of the characters. Some people might still watch it too. Like some people don't like Maggie, but they like Negan. Some people don't like Negan, but they like Maggie. They're probably going to watch the show either way. Rick and Michonne, that's obvious. We want to see what happens with Rick, right? Michonne is there to connect with Rick. And the Daryl show, I don't know. What they have to explain what's going to happen with the post-credit scene of The World Beyond. The France CDC, the Dr. Jenner tapes, the writing on the wall. They need to go there. They need to answer that if it's in the first season, the second season, or whatever, because from my knowledge and from what I'm hearing is that the first season is done about the Daryl show. Their first season is wrapped. Daryl was flying somewhere recently, if it was yesterday or 2 days ago or in past couple days. He was at the airport going somewhere. And we heard rumors that they finished the first season because they've been filming for a while now. I want to say they've been filming since the end of last year and probably took a break for the holidays and whatever, then came back and started filming again. So they filmed the first season is what we're going with. The word is that they're going to go right into the second season filming this week, next week, end of this month, something there too. So I don't know. But thank you guys for everybody joining and giving me a shout out and being here as a part of the live stream. It's always good to see you guys and talk and have you a part of it as well. I truly appreciate that, and I don't take it for granted, that's for sure. So Fear the Walking Dead also finished their filming, I want to say last Saturday. I want to say that was confirmed or recently. They're done filming as I do this live stream is the word. There's been all these different Instagram posts with the characters on there, the actors on there saying, the boots that Grace wore. You get to see a shot of Dwight doing makeup or whatever, and for the last time putting on the prosthetics on his face. And then where do we go from here? Where do we go from here with the characters, right? So if Dwight and Sherry were filming at the end, if Strand was filming at the end, Madison, Morgan, Grace, Luciana, the survivors, right? Like, so some characters like Luciana, I don't even care if I ever see her again. She was kind of useless. She had her moments in season 2, and then they don't do anything in season 3 with the character. She just goes away, and they bring her back in season 4, and she's really done nothing after Nick's death. It's just been there. June, I wouldn't mind seeing her again. Morgan, of course. I would like to see Alicia reunite with Madison and then that be the end of that story. Strand, I don't need to see him ever again. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really need to see a lot of these characters ever again, which I'm fine with. Like, also, I don't need to see all the Walking Dead characters again, too. Like, a lot of the stories are where they're at, and I'm good with that. And then Rob K, is Charlie still alive on Fear? So, yeah, Charlie was still alive on Fear the Walking Dead going into season 8. She had, I guess, radiation sickness, I believe. She wasn't doing well. She wasn't feeling well. Padre is probably going to magically heal her with some medicine and some stuff and some iodine pills and whatever, and she's going to magically get better. The big question is, what's going to happen with Charlie and Madison? Charlie killed Nick, and Charlie has been alive since she did that, which is ridiculous, in my opinion. But Madison coming back is also ridiculous, so you put two ridiculous things together, and bing, bada, boom, you got Fear the Walking Dead, right? So what's going to happen with that? I don't know. I'm just ready for the show to wrap up the final 12 episodes. Are we going to see any characters come back? There's been talk that we could see Troy, we could see Kaltaka, maybe Crazy Dog. Could see some characters from season 3, which would be okay. I wrap it up. You got 12 episodes. Bring them all back. Who cares? You brought Madison back. Bring Alicia back. Bring Althea back. Bring Travis back. I don't care. Bring everybody back. Who cares, right? Bring everybody back. Wrap it up. Bring Tobias back around. Let's just wrap it up. Keep it rolling, and we'll see what happens with Morgan. Does he find the green bottle with the message that Rick Grimes wrote? Who finds that bottle? Right? A lot of questions. So, it's kind of a crazy thing that all these characters are still alive, because The Walking Dead was like, boom, we're losing characters left and right. We're losing this character, that character. First season, a lot of characters died. CDC, boom, a lot of people died. Second season, we're losing a bunch of the Green family. We're losing Shane. We're losing Randall. We're losing Dale. We're losing people left and right. And then season 3, and, we got this in the prison. And every season, we're losing characters. They're coming back in cameos and, dream sequences or visions or, hallucinations or whatever. But they're gone. And then all of a sudden they reach season 8, 9, or after they got rid of, after Carl got killed off and they took Rick away and they took Michonne away, they're like, oh man, let's keep some people around because we're going to run out of stuff here and people are going to hate us if they kill off, Aaron or Father Gabriel or whatever. Well, we'll kill Rosita off at the end. So we lost Alden and Rosita in the final season. Oh, Luke and Jules too, which, not the biggest characters, but again, out of Magna's group, there's a lot of people still left there. And we kept getting more and more characters. We got Mercer. Every time we would get a bunch of characters, we would lose a character or two, but we'd keep a bulk of the characters. Look at all the Oceanside characters that I guess are still out there too. But a lot of stuff is there that are a lot of questions for that. But it's an interesting thing because the Rick and Michonne show, it needs to bring Rick and Michonne back to the universe, obviously, but it needs to answer questions. What happened with Rick when he went away? Jadis, CRM. We still have the CRM questions and a bunch of questions. Like, who's Major General Beale? Where is CRM's central, the Civic Republic centrally located? Because we know the military is all around, but where is the actual Civic Republic? Is it Philadelphia? Is that where they would be taking? But it wouldn't make sense to have the Civic Republic, the leaders, the government, if you will, the representatives of the Civic Republic that were elected or just appointed or took over control, whatever it is. Where are they located? I don't know. So it's like a lot of great questions. We need answers. The PPP card on there too. What are some questions, that are still out there? People ask about Heath all the time. People ask about, the PPP card. And what else is out there? What other questions do you guys want to see answered? And hopefully they're answered because, again, The Walking Dead is going to do whatever they're going to do. And I'm not trying to figure out the Walking Dead universe anymore. Before season 6, season 7, you tried to figure stuff out. Okay, what's going to happen here? Negan's around, Rick's here. It's like a lot of things for us to ponder. But now it's like all over the place. I don't know. Night of the Living Fred, great name. Thank you for the super chat. He wrote, let's go for 100K subs. I'm with you, man. So I have always had the goal of 100,000 subscribers to get the silver play button. And I've been trying, I've been trying to do it for a long time since starting it. I appreciate the love from all you guys, but I can only do so much. I can't control who subscribes, who doesn't. I just have to continue doing a lot of stuff for us, for you guys, for making the videos that we want to talk about and discuss the Walking Dead universe, but also The Last of Us, also some other, crazy stuff out there. So I appreciate the super chat. It's always appreciated. And I'm trying to get that 100K subscribers. And we're right there. We've had 97,000 for a long time now. But I think I was probably 6 months, a year too late because I started doing this in season 6. If I started doing this in seasons 4 or 5, I probably would have 150,000 subscribers on there as well or something on there as well because the heyday of The Walking Dead, I missed all that. I started at the beginning of season 6, but for a lot of people, the best seasons were 3, 4, and 5, and I think season 6 is a great season too, but a lot changed after that. And it takes a while for, people to find the channel, like what they're doing, subscribe, and tune in to your videos. And The Walking Dead is not ever going to be what it was, no matter if they do reboots or this or that. It's just going to be what it is. And so I just do what you can, and that's all we can do, right? But The Last of Us is a great series as well. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys have seen all 9 episodes. It was very much a great rendition and live action of the video game, the first video game. And that's what I think it was supposed to be. A live action adaptation of the video game, explore stuff where they can elaborate on, like Bill and Frank and Riley, and just certain things that they didn't have time or it didn't fit in the video game. they could do it on the show. I like the castings of Joel and Ellie. I think everybody that was casted did a great job. I think it's just like on The Walking Dead. I think everybody that was cast on The Walking Dead did a great job. They did what they're supposed to do. And the same thing on The Last of Us. But what do you think, guys? Do you like the castings of the characters on The Last of Us Season 1? Do you not? Do you not like Ellie? Some people like Bella as Ellie and some people don't. But ultimately, I do like the idea of us getting... I would like 2 more seasons of The Last of Us. I don't need 5 seasons of this show because they said that... So the latest things that I've read about The Last of Us... The Last of Us is going to be longer. The second game is going to be adapted into, I think, at least 2 seasons, like a couple seasons, they said. I don't think they gave a number, but it should be a couple different seasons. So I think you can elaborate on the Joel. I think Joel, because if you know the video game of the second video game, you know what happens to Joel. You know what happens with Ellie and Abby and all that stuff. They don't have to go that route until season 3. Because if they do 9 episodes, they can do a time jump of Ellie, and they're supposed to keep Bella as Ellie, and I think they should. They're going to keep Pedro as Joel, and all the characters as Tommy and stuff. So it makes sense, but there's a time jump, a pretty big time jump. And, Ellie's going to have a different look to her. That's for sure. And the Last of Us universe has a bunch of different time jumps throughout the series. And that's okay. The big thing about it is that Abby is the villain coming for Joel. When does that happen? Because I think they want to keep Pedro on the show for as long as they can. And they can have 5 episodes, and then they could have the Joel Abby confrontation. Or they could do it early on, and then they have flashbacks and stuff. So Pedro still films all these episodes, but it's flashbacks and stuff for that. I just hope they know what they're doing and they're going to continue what they're doing because the first season was really good, but also the first game is really good. So it's easy adaptation, right? If the book is good, if the comic book is good, if the source material is good, it's pretty easy to bring it to live television, especially with CGI. It looks great now. It's pretty easy. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty good. It's so much better than the 90s, early 2000s. Like I was watching, my wife and I, we were watching Terminator 2, I think last weekend, and we were watching a lot of the movie. And it's still a great movie. It's still up there as one of the best movies. But you can tell when Arnold is going towards the cops inside the building. There's a part where it's Arnold, and then it's not, and then it's Arnold, and then it's definitely not, and then it's Arnold, and then it's definitely not. And it's like you can tell when it's not Arnold. Now, you would probably do it seamlessly. So it's definitely... It's just you can do things easier now too. And don't get me wrong, that was early 90s when they had Terminator 2, and it still looks amazing and it still holds up really well. Xavier, do you think Joel will die differently than the game? I don't think he'll die differently. I think it'll just be, the build up will be different too. So I think if they wanted to, they could do it, Wyoming, because they go back to Wyoming and they hang out there for the rest of the time until Abby and her group comes around. So the voice actress of Abby was actually there in the operating room. She was one of the nurses. That was the voice actress of Abby. So technically Abby was there. We didn't actually see because Abby's a young girl at the end of, the beginning of the second game. You see a flashback of when it was, because you get to find out who this person is and why they're doing that too. So, but yeah, I think they can change things somewhat, but they can't get away from that. But they can prolong the Joel character as long as they feel possible. But again, they can do what they want, and we'll see. But I think Bella said that they're going to start filming the second season end of this year, early next year. So at best case scenario, we would get it at the end of 2024 would be when that's going to be. And which would kind of be good for The Walking Dead, because I think Walking Dead wants to stay away, very far away from The Last of Us when it's on television. So The Last of Us 9 episodes is done. We're not going to have any Last of Us for probably 2 years, because I would assume that if they're not going to film it to the end of next year, or end of this year, or early next year, are they going to do 9 episodes again, 10 episodes? Are they going to break it up? Are they going to film a long season and break it into 2 seasons kind of thing? Like, I know a lot of shows do extended there too. So if a series is 10 episodes and they film 16 episodes, they'll do 8, take a break, and then do 8, and then show the other 8. So it's still like The Sopranos did 6A and 6B instead of just all season 6. So kind of a thing where they stretched out the DVDs. I remember buying those DVDs, and you had to buy that. All right, first 5 seasons were one pack, but a 6A and 6B are 2 separate things. You're like, come on. But that's kind of what they did. Right, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But overall, did you guys enjoy The Last of Us? Did you guys think it was good? I know I've seen more praise for it than hate on it. Some people are like, there weren't enough infected. There wasn't enough this. It seemed rushed. It seemed that. And I don't think it seemed rushed, in my opinion. But there weren't enough infected by any means. There were some episodes where the infected weren't even there. There's the 9 episodes, and there were some episodes there was 1 infected, 2 infected. It's not really that much. There's like 2 episodes that I remember offhand where there was a lot of them. And that's fine. That's just the story. It doesn't have to be every episode, but could be a little bit more. Master Ninja asks, what do you think about The Last of Us coming out in 2025? Yeah, I mean, like I said, it would be either the end of 2024 or early 2025, which is what it's going to be. You want it done right. And I know firsthand, right? When I wrote my first books, I was excited to write and get it out and upload it, send it in, do this. All right, next book, write, do this. Next book. There were some books where I wrote 4 books in a year. And that's way too much, right? That's way too much. The editing, the stuff is just not done right. And I've learned that. So I take my time. I write it. Like, I'm in my halfway point now. So I got to chapter 12 today of my first proofread. So I wrote it, and now I'm editing it. And then my wife's going to start reading it, and she'll go through it. And then I'll edit it one more time, get the final edit, and then it'll be up for that. And it's just like the way to do things is to make it done right. Don't rush. And then also, I don't know what Pedro's schedule is to be Joel, but he's a busy guy. He's a wanted guy. I'm sure he's going to be in a bunch of different projects and a bunch of movies, but he's kind of the guy too. So, Mass Ninja asks, do you think The Walking Dead will introduce the more types of variant walkers like jumpers? Nah, I don't think they're going that route. Like, I mean, we don't need, so everybody's going to be like, The Last of Us has 4 kinds of infected. The Walking Dead has walkers. That's it. Now they have a variant walker. So there's 2 different kinds. But what does that mean? Are they going to start talking? They're going to start walking. They're going to start running. They're going to start dancing. They're going to start breakdancing. Turn off the song and dance. We're supposed to get a musical rendition of it. They're going to pick up objects and open doors. Like, I don't care. The lore of that is just, it's a reach. They should have done that from the very beginning. Like, I don't care about any of that stuff personally. Like, The Walking Dead is like, to me, for a lot of people, it's over or it's on life support. Like, I do like The Walking Dead still, and I'm still involved with it on there too. But I don't care about these variant walkers. Like, that has nothing to do with the story, in my opinion. Like, ooh, it evolved, and it's this, and it's that. Okay, great. The walkers, to me, should have started falling apart and decaying more and more and more over the 10 to 12 years, and then we're going to get 2-year time jump, and then more time jump, and more time goes by. But there's still all these walkers around, right? I would like for more of the explanation about the walkers, why they don't break down, why they're still around so long. What are they going to do there too? It's like they talked a little bit about it here and there, but I don't think they care. I don't think that's a big thing for them at all. They're like, oh, you know what? There's, we just had this pandemic that everybody knows about, a variant. How viruses change and adapt and have a variant thing to live and to stay alive. The viruses, they change, and so now all of a sudden the walkers are doing that too. So all right, okay, good. It explains things a little bit. It explores the lore a little bit, and it changes things somewhat. But then we saw it in the first episode, and we saw it here, and we saw it there. It's a forced connection that kind of works. That's the only thing I could think about it too. So, Carol, hey Carol, Q&A. What would you say would need to happen to redeem Fear the Walking Dead at this point in the end? Whew, man, I don't know, man. I don't know if there's any redemption for it. Now, what could be improved is it was all a dream. No, I'm just kidding. That Padre is Padre needs to be connected with the CRM, in my opinion. Right? Just like the Commonwealth needs to be connected with CRM. Like it doesn't, but it does, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Alicia and Madison reunite and then end that. Morgan needs to go away. Sherry and Dwight need to go away. I need them to connect with the Walking Dead universe, because I don't know if I'm ever going to get over the fact that the first 3 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead didn't want anything to do with The Walking Dead. Then make your own show. Don't call it Fear the Walking Dead. Call it Fear the Walkers or something, like Zombie Nation or whatever you're going to do, right? Do something entirely different. Don't try to piggyback on The Walking Dead but not be on The Walking Dead. We're going to do our own show. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Okay, great, right? But I think you got to just make major connections with the Walking Dead universe, with the world beyond The Walking Dead, and there. I just think that's the only thing that can make sense for it, right? Morgan left, but then he's going to come back at the end. Like, what did we just... Fear the Walking Dead to me is probably just going to be a big waste of time. In 7 seasons, what really happened? What really happened in 7 seasons, soon to be 8 seasons? It's just a hodgepodge of stuff that they put stuff together and they move it around and they do this and they're here in California, then Mexico and Texas and there and then Louisiana and then wherever Padre is, and then they move around a little bit. I don't know. Like that's a good question too, Carol, for everybody else too. What does Fear the Walking Dead have to do in the final season to make it good? To make it considered good? So I don't know. It's just like it's a shame because like Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, and probably these spinoffs, Tales of the Walking Dead. It's a good idea. I said it last stream. The idea is good. The execution and the actual production of things, the story and the writing, it's not. It's a shame because The Walking Dead was such a good show, and it's still a good thing. It's still a top, show for a lot of people, a top series for a lot of people. And it changed a lot of things for a lot of good people, and a lot of stuff way production and TV was done. And then you get Fear the Walking Dead, right? And it's like, hey, you like The Walking Dead? Go watch Fear. And you're like, what is this show? What is this crap? I thought this was The Walking Dead. They just went the exact opposite route, And then World Beyond, same thing, had its moments, its ideas. Like, you are connecting and explaining the CRM connection for us. CRM was forced upon us. CRM has nothing to do with the comic. The comic is not have a CRM connection. There's no helicopter people, Civic Republic CRM connection. it's that's nothing to do with that. They brought that in for filler to take stuff away. The spin-offs will probably cover that. I know at least the Rick and Michonne show will cover that. World Beyond covered that. And Fear the Walking Dead covered it on a very, very, very minor level. But you brought this here. Just connect. Because The Walking Dead is over. The Commonwealth story is over. CRM is the connecting point that we want to see. Like, do you guys want to see CRM connections? Do you want to see other shows connect with them? Because before I said CRM is the flex tape of binding everything of The Walking Dead. It's like it connects everybody. It's the gorilla glue, if you will, that holds everything together for the future of the Walking Dead universe is CRM. But I think that we'll have connections, we'll have stuff there upon us, and it's going to be what it is. And whether we like it or not, we're going to watch. We're going to express how it is, right? So hopefully the writers know what the deal is with what we want. Now, you don't have to do complete fan service, but you got to give us something. You want to see reunions, you want to see, stuff happen. And I agree. I'm right there with you guys. But will it happen? I don't know. So I got to talk about a movie because I got a half hour left in this live stream. So I posted a post on the channel yesterday or 2 days ago that my wife and I watched a movie called Cocaine Bear. Yes, there's a movie called Cocaine Bear. And it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. So definitely check out the trailer. Check out the movie if you guys want to see a crazy different movie. So it's based on a true story. And I always love those things when it's based on a true story. You don't know how much is true. You don't know how much is, based on there, but they change things a little bit. And I'm sure not all the crazy things that happen in it, but it's a horror movie that is nuts. And I want to say it's Ray Liotta's last movie. I could be wrong. It may be one of his last movies, but he's in it, and Ray Liotta died recently. And, legendary actor in a lot of great movies that I enjoyed, and he's in the movie too. So I don't want to give anything away of it besides Cocaine Bear. A bear in the woods in Georgia takes cocaine. We'll just say that. Ice Cube's son is in it, O'Shea Jackson Jr. He does a good job. Young Han Solo is in it. He's pretty good in it too. Mitchell from Modern Family is in it. You might not even recognize him. Sweet Tooth, the kid actor who plays Sweet Tooth on that Netflix show, which actually is coming back in April for the second season. And if you've never seen Sweet Tooth, Kerry Russell, Felicity is in it. The one lady that's been in, she was in The Leftovers and a bunch of other things, is like the park ranger. And it's kind of the main big actors that I can think of. But yeah, Elizabeth Banks was the director of it. She did a great job because the movie is crazy. Like, I can't even explain how crazy it is. And yes, it's a CGI bear. They're not actually using a bear for it. Oh, actually, Tormund is in it too from Game of Thrones. It's kind of a cool thing when you get to see different actors and different things there too. But it's crazy. That's all I want to say is that from start to finish, the movie is crazy. Like, I definitely recommend it if you want to see I guess, is it classified as a horror movie? Like, I don't even know what it would be classified as, because it's definitely something that I've enjoyed watching it, and I recommend it for sure. So we watched Cocaine Bear. We were going through HBO yesterday, and we're like, what's on here? And I like to go through the area or the title part that says leaving soon. So these movies are leaving in March 31st. So I going through it, and I was like, this one, that one, and there's City Slickers 2 that I was like, I never saw City Slickers 2. I saw City Slickers 1. You know, it's, I don't know, a classic comedy. It's funny. And I was like, let's watch it. So we watch it, and it's not as good as the first movie by any means. And they do the old thing like, oh, that's his brother. You know, like it's just... and so I don't know if you've ever seen City Slickers 2, but we watched that yesterday as well. It's not good. It's not as good as well. So people are saying it's marketed as a... Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. Like, I don't... It's put as a comedy. Like, it's not something that you're... I don't know. It's just weird. Like, it's such a weird movie that the gore is crazy. The bear is nuts. The violence that's there that happens in it. Like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but it's definitely something that you got to watch. Like when I say something's crazy or it's this in a movie, I hope that you guys can trust it. I'm not that person. Like I had a friend that I grew up with who wanted to see every movie, and I was like, I don't want to see that. And I was like, how was it? It's good, man. It's good. You know, the cinematography was good. Or this, and he's like trying to make every movie that he saw was good because, the story was okay, but the cinematography was great. And you're like, is it worth watching or whatever? You know, like, no. Like, I have to have a realist. Not every movie I watch is good or great or worth watching. Some movies are like, no, don't watch that movie in the theater. Watch it on streaming. Wait for it on streaming. Redbox or whatever, you know, it's just do that. But yeah, so we watched a decent amount of movies with it. So last Sunday was a big Sunday. So it was Selection Sunday for basketball. It was the Oscars, which hopefully you guys watched or saw some of the reports that Brendan Fraser won for The Whale. Deservedly so. Was great. Definitely recommend watching that. And if you've seen it, don't give it away. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's a Walking Dead cast member in the movie that definitely was kind of cool to see the person there. But Brendan Fraser was great. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once won a bunch of awards. And I was, it was funny because I watched on Showtime, I want to say. It was on, and it's been on like every day, especially since the Oscars. But it's a good movie. And Ke Kwan is Short Round and from Indiana Jones, and Data from Goonies. And he won Best Supporting Actor. And it was awesome. If you haven't watched it yet, go on YouTube and put in Oscars Ke Kwan. And it's a nice, wholesome, like he goes up there and he's emotional and he's like, happy and excited. And he's like, Mom, I won an Oscar. Like it's such a heartfelt moment. And it's great because last year was such a mess with the slap and all the crap that was like so stupid. All this dumb stuff. Like, come on. And then you have this wholesome one was great. And, if you haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's a good movie. It's a different movie. It's a different kind of movie, that's for sure, which I've said time and time again. I recommend it. Definitely see it. It's worth watching. And I want to say the actress, the lady, I don't know her name, but she won Best Actress. Everyone won for Best Film. Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress. Like, there was just cleaning up all these awards. Brendan Fraser won for Best Actor for The Whale, and I think Top Gun Maverick won for like Best Sound or Best something, like a smaller category, but it won something. And It was just great. Like Brendan Fraser, Michelle Yeoh, yeah, she won as well. She was great too. She was great in it. Like everybody else cast in that movie is really good. And Brendan Fraser going up and giving his speech, it's just emotional because, when's the last time you saw Brendan Fraser in anything? Right? I think he was in the one DC show where he's like that robot guy. He was like the voice of the robot guy. But before that, I mean, you're talking about a long time ago. I don't know, 20-some years ago. Brendan Fraser was like a big actor. Ke Kwan, we're talking about the 80s, really, for him. Like, that's such a long thing. The Mummy 2, yeah, exactly. The Mummy 2 for that. Encino Man. Yeah. Right. And it was just cool to see, and a lot of people want to see him return to the Indiana Jones universe for that, but they've already filmed that movie, I'm guessing. Indiana Jones is done filming. And then that's Harrison Ford's last movie, so. But, yeah, it was cool. It was a good moment for that. And then it was The Last of Us season finale, which was really good. They did a good job. It was just like the final part of the game. They brought the giraffe in, which I didn't know if they would. And it jumps out into me as the part in the game because it's pretty cool. It's a nice moment where they're in the building, they go up the stairs and they do this, and there's a giraffe there, and they feed it and they pet it, and then the giraffe walks away. And in the behind the scenes, they used a real giraffe and a blue screen all around it, but they fed a real giraffe. That's what it was. It kind of looked a little off. You could tell, was it a CGI giraffe? Was it this? Was it there? But then they show video of a real giraffe, but blue screen, they're basically all around them. And it's a small part in the game, but I think anybody who played The Last of Us video game, the first video game, was like, the giraffe, remember that part? Like, yeah, I remember that part distinctly. And it was cool. Just like you remember if the second game, you know what happened to certain things there. But it's a better moment with the giraffe there. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, I know. This person says Indiana Jones is not Harrison Ford. I know Harrison Ford is not done acting. He's going to be in Captain America 4 and a bunch of other things. He's going to be in 1923, the second season of that. But I don't know if he's going to play Indiana Jones again, is my point. Is that his last time playing Indiana Jones? So again, people hear things different, or maybe I didn't explain that right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is Harrison Ford going to play Indiana Jones again? I hope not, because he's like 80 years old. We don't need an 80-year-old Indiana Jones. That's for sure. But it would be cool to see him interact with Short Round. One last time would be cool too. So, yeah. Gary says, "Hey, Brian, they can't follow the game. I love Pascal." Yeah, everybody loves Pedro, But I think Pedro is a great actor. Like I said before, I think someone brought the point. He was in Wonder Woman 1984 or whatever. Yeah, that movie sucked, but he was good in it. He was good. He's good in everything I've seen Pedro in. I don't think I've seen anything. I haven't seen all of his things. I haven't even seen Narcos, but he's in that, and saw him in Game of Thrones. Saw him in the Kingsman or whatever, the second Kingsman movie. Saw him in Mandalorian, and saw him in now Last of Us. He just seems like a regular cool guy too, He just seems like a regular thing. He's got great parts, and he pulls off what he's given. Equals a win-win for us, So that's awesome there. The Walking Dead has been filming in New Jersey, the Rick and Michonne show. It's definitely something that I kind of wish I was in New Jersey for it, even though they're filming in North Jersey and I live in South Jersey. It'd be really cool to see, but the sources that are putting out the information for the Rick and Michonne show, the great photos, the information, the spoilers, the potential spoilers, the information, the confirmed information, the potential confirmed information. We'll have to see what actually, happens. But it's really cool. I don't know how people get so close, or if they have awesome cameras and they get to zoom in. They have a 2,000 times zoom or something. I don't know, but it's cool when you see Michonne and you see Rick and you see Jadis and you see, I want to say King Bach, but people are saying it's King Batch. But the guy that was wounded, that Michonne found, who had a bad ankle, he's back for it. And it'll be interesting to see if Silas shows up or if anybody else is seen on set. That's the big thing. Obviously, Michonne, Rick, and Jadis, great. Then the smaller character that Michonne found in season 10, episode 13, great. But where's Silas? Where's the Bennetts? Where's Felix? Where's, anybody else? Where's Morgan? Where's Carol? Where are those characters at? That's the bigger thing. That's the major next step if we get to see anybody there or hear information about that. Like the helicopter and the CRM and the this and that's supposed to happen. That's obvious too. So Epic Zombie Killer says, "Hey, I'm not the biggest fan of Jadis. Me either. But she's important to the Rick story because she went away with Rick, and then we saw her again in World Beyond. She worked her way up in the ranks, but we'll see where it goes." So the big thing about it is we're going to see the story next year. Hopefully next February, in less than a year, we'll have the Rick and Michonne show. And, it's, like I said, it's March 19th as I make this video, 2023. So we'll see where we stand on March 19th in 2024. Well, we already have seen some of the episodes. Well, we get to see that. But let's worry about this year first, right? So The Last of Us is done. Great series. Good 9 episodes. Good building block for that universe there, too. A lot of questions about, this and that. And second season is going to be is it going to be 2 or 3 seasons? Are they going to be able to do this? Are they going to recast that? Who are they going to cast as Abby? What are they going to do for this? What are they going to do that, And it's kind of that annoying thing. Like The Walking Dead had the comics so far ahead of the show. The comics were always ahead of the show. The comics were always out before the show got to any of those stories. And remember all the people that were like, they're going to skip the whispers. They're going to skip this. They're going to skip that. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And they didn't do any of that. They did exactly what they were supposed to do on the show from the comic, except kill off some characters and have some of this and have some of that and do some twists and turns like that. But they had the story. The story of the story is what it was, too. So, yeah. So we have Fear the Walking Dead next, May 14th. So in less than 2 months. Gary Page says, "I think the last scene of the Rick show will be reunited with Judith and RJ." Awesome. They could end that way, and I'd be fine with that. I think that would be the probably best way to end stuff. Is that Rick, Michonne go to the Commonwealth, and there's Judith and RJ. But if they wait too long for all that, Kaylee Presley Fleming is going to be like 17 years old and looking vastly different from when we saw her last at the end of The Walking Dead. RJ will probably be a completely different actor. Or that kid is going to be like, 12 years old, 15 years old. I don't know if they wait too long for it, too, so. So Ed says, the voices on the helicopter to Rick was definitely 2 different people. What percentage do you think that it could be Strand? Sure sounds like him. Just wondered. To me, it's 0% because it doesn't fit. So Strand is a helicopter pilot now, right? Why? Because he flew a hella balloon. He flew a hot air balloon shaped like a beer bottle. He knows how to pilot a helicopter. That's not easy. You can't just go do that. You have to learn how to go do that, right? And why is Strand going after Rick? Strand worked his way up to go be part of the CRM military now. I mean, we want connections for all the different shows, right? So Morgan's going to come and save Rick, and Strand's going to be there, and Madison and Alicia are going to show up. All these people are going to come together, and it's just, and yeah, we want to have certain connections, but to me, I think it's a very low percentage that it's Strand. I don't know, like, if Strand's in the helicopter, why is Strand in the helicopter going after Rick Grimes? Strand is not a bounty hunter. He's not a person like that. He's out for himself. And yeah, he would go after Rick for a job. He would go after other prisoners for a job to do that. But I don't know. It just seems like because the person sounds like Coleman Domingo. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, that would be the way Fear the Walking Dead is forcing themselves and stuff. Like, that's what Fear the Walking Dead does. Forces their connections and their writing and their crap. Don't bring that over into the Walking Dead universe, and keep it in Fear the Walking Dead. Keep your crap over there. Don't bring it in here and contaminate the other stuff. Now, if you're going to bring stuff over and have these characters make sense, yeah, but I don't know. Like Strand, to me, I don't know how else to say it, sucks as a character. Like, he's a conniving person that's out for himself, but then he cared about himself, and he's gonna be friends with Madison. He's gonna be this. And Strand should have been killed by Morgan. Like, it shouldn't have been. They're battling for the tower and then all this crap, and then Strand tried to kill Morgan in the submarine. It's just like, I don't know. You know what you do? You have Strand in the helicopter, right? This is what you do. Strand's in the helicopter. Rick is picked up. Strand is in there. He's not the pilot. He's somebody else, right? So he does this. Rick fights back, takes out the helicopter pilot. They crash, and Strand dies during all the chaos. There you go. You wrap up the character. Strand's gone. So after all that crap we saw with Strand from season 1 to season 8 of Fear the Walking Dead, he can just die in the Rick and Michonne show. Right? It would make no sense. It would be stupid. It would be nothing for the character. It would do nothing for the story of anything. But hey, let's do that. Let's do that, right? Right? Just get all these Fear the Walking Dead nonsense characters. Just be done with them. And let's move away from it all. Like, it's just a mess. And I don't want Strand or anybody else to contaminate the Rick and Michonne show. No. I don't need anybody besides Morgan to be involved with the Rick and Michonne show. Maybe June, maybe Grace, and Morgan's daughter. Well, Grace's daughter, but Morgan's daughter, Morgan. Bring them over, but don't bring Strand or Luciana or Charlie or anybody like that. No. We don't need that. Or those kids or whatever. No, enough of that. We got Rick Grimes. We got Michonne. We got 6 episodes. Let's focus on good stuff. Every episode should be great, right? But we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. It's just on there as well. David Brooks says, "Bro, I've been watching your videos since The Walking Dead Season 7 premiere. I appreciate that, David Brooks. That's a long time ago. That was like a big major event. I remember because that was when I probably got a lot of subscribers and a lot of people, because when we ended Season 6, Episode 16 with the blackout screen and who did Negan choose? We're like, that whole summer was who's the lineup, who was picked. And then we found out it was Glenn and Abraham. And then we saw who was filming and who was not filming. And we saw this and we saw that. And then all the craziness was Season 7. That was a big summer. That was a huge summer for Walking Dead channels too. And it was terrible. It was a terrible thing to do that to our audience. The waiting game to find out. But at least we found out. That wasn't like how the series ended. That was just like, oh. And it's already bad enough when stuff happens, and then you have to, so like Lindsay's talking about here about the Glenn fake out dumpster death. You had to wait to find out what happened with Glenn. It wasn't like, oh, you saw Glenn, the body fell, the body on top of him, and then the next episode it started with Glenn and that. You had to wait an episode or two, if I remember right. It wasn't like, oh, we'll find out in a week. Nope, 2 weeks. We had to find out 3 weeks. It was like we were like, what? Huh? And then we had to wait a bunch of episodes, and then Glenn was finally killed off. But it was like one of those things where like, man. We had to wait the whole summer. And all these channels are like, this is going to get hit, and then he's going to get shot, or she's going to get picked, and then he's going to get picked, and he's going to do this, and they're going to fight, and this. Like every day was like a thing where like this person gets picked, and it's 2 people, and it's 3 people, and it's this. Rick gets picked, and that happens here, and this is this, and this. And like it was just so many different things. It was a crazy summer. That was a crazy summer. That was probably one of the biggest things for the Walking Dead YouTube channels. It was nuts. Yeah, it was something that was going to be answered, when it finished, and we had to wait all that time, and then we waited all those months, and then it was answered in October that same year, which was good. We at least got that answer, and it was cool. It was, and The Walking Dead, it'll never have that again. That'll never be that. The Negan lineup was like the apex, the peak, the mountaintop of Walking Dead YouTube channels and Walking Dead stuff on YouTube. It was just a lot too. And it seems like so long ago, but it was a memorable time, and there's something that'll be a part. I'll be a part of that for forever. And I know that they're still having conventions, and they still have, Walking Dead cast members there and stuff like that too. So it's always cool. And I know like Ross does a lot of it, and Seth does a lot of it, and Cooper and Michael and a bunch of the cast, does a lot of those conventions. Chandler's going to probably do them forever. It'll be 7 years this year. Wow, that's crazy. 7 years ago. Whew, man. But it's a long time, like you do a lot of things, and a lot of the things, and it's good because it's a great thing to look at it where if you look back on your life and what you did, and I do that from time to time, and I do that more and more as you get older, and especially with like any form, your friends, your family, your work, your passion of stuff, your extracurriculars, your extra activities, whatever you're doing, it's just something that is great to look at it. And you can start something today, and you should start something today. If you're interested in a YouTube channel or writing a book or a short story or a novel or whatever, especially if it costs you nothing or $1 or a couple bucks to get pen and paper, notebook, Word document, whatever. Start writing, start expressing yourself. Have ideas, go do it. And you're probably going to be bad at something when you first do it. But the more you do it, the better and better and better you get it. The more refined you get it at, right? Like, unless you're a savant or you can do something right away and master a skill like that, it's like riding a bike. You're not the best bike rider when you first get on there. You're not the best YouTuber. You're not the best whatever. Like, I wasn't the best physical therapist with the first patient I seen. I wasn't the best YouTuber. I wasn't the best writer in the first book I made. My first book might be my worst book out of all the books. But I've learned, adjusted, refined, improved, made the things that make me better at them too. And that's what you got to do. And that's life. And that's just something you have to accept. And it's greatly appreciated that you're still around and you're doing stuff. And that's why it was so rewarding watching the Oscars, and you see Kei Kwan and Brendan Fraser win, and they haven't been relevant in movies for a long, long time, and then they win Oscars for great roles and great performances, and it's great, you know? Right. Like Charles says, I'll forever have a soft spot for The Walking Dead. It got me into my comic hobby. Exactly. Like, I'll have a soft spot for The Walking Dead and The Walking Dead universe the rest of my life because it made me have this YouTube channel and do what I did and have my book series and just be able to change a lot of people's lives and hopefully motivate, inspire, show people and learn from what I did. Right? Ed asks, where is the best way to purchase Fight For Us? So Fight For Us is on Amazon. That's probably the best way to do it. We have an Amazon page. Also on the front page of our YouTube channel, there's a link that sends right to our Amazon page. And also in the description of a lot of the videos, we have really all the videos. There's a link that takes you to our Amazon page, and it'll take you to our Fight For Us book as well too. So a lot of cool things for that. The order is also right there in the description of my videos. So it's kind of explained. And also, if you want to reach out, I have a Facebook page for that. I'm always on Facebook myself and the PT channel as well. So always, if you have any questions about the Fight For Us book series or anything, always there to answer those questions as well too. So thank you, Lindsay, for gifted one of the PT channel memberships. That was awesome to David Brooks. That's always appreciated. Lindsay does a great job. Lindsay is our one of our moderators. She's a great source for the channel, and I want to say thank you to her, Kami, Rob K, and everybody that's involved being a moderator for the channel. I truly appreciate that, and it's much better. I wish I did it sooner. Because remember when we used to have those trolls and those people and those problems and everything in there too? And then I changed some settings and changed some stuff and, got some moderators here. And it's much smoother now too. It's also not as crazy with that. It's just a cool thing. And I just want to give a shout out to them too. Because, I've always want to give praise and, thank you to everybody that is here just as a subscriber. And also people that are here for helping me and the channel grow and go, and we couldn't do it without you guys. It's a fun thing to do, and it's a good thing to do. It's just a fun community to talk about stuff. It's not that serious. There's a lot more serious things out there, and it's an escape for people when we can provide that. And it's just a fun thing where we can be open and honest and not judge people about it there too. So it's awesome. Carol asked my last question, Bri, book 18 when? So book 18 will be titled Atonement. So it's Fight For Us Atonement, and it'll be out. I don't want to give an exact date because I don't know, but we're hoping for April because, like I said, I'm up to chapter 12. It's 18 chapters. My wife's going to start reading it today. She'll probably use she'll probably get 2 chapters a time she's reading it, but it's tax season now, which is crazy for her. So from now to April 18th, it's a crazy amount of time for her job. So we'll try to get that done. I got to get the book cover going. I got to get that made too, but that's usually kind of quick, but hopefully we'll get that going as well. But I want to say I'm hoping for April. So if I can get it done for the end of April, if not early May, like the first week of May at the latest, I'll do that. But book 18, I'm excited for it because it's when I'm writing it, I'm excited, and then when I'm reading it again, I get more excited because I get to read it again and try to change things and do things and make it, clean it up a little bit, and also we'll get a couple new characters in that book that I'm excited to share with the universe of Fight For Us, which would be very cool. So thank you guys. Thank you for everybody being here. Thank you for the super chat. Night of the Living Fred, I think was his name. That's pretty cool. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time, and I'll be back next Sunday for talking about whatever you want to talk about, any news of the Walking Dead universe, and I guess some different shows and movies that I've watched. But thank you guys for being here. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. It's about hard work, love, respect, just everything. Keep working hard, guys. You can achieve things in life. It takes time. It takes a long time, especially when it's something you want to do that's meaningful to you. But like I said, guys, I'll be back tonight. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's whatever you're watching, and see you guys. See ya.